Welcome to Breakfast Food, the weekly comedy podcast filled with stupid stories, funny anecdotes, and advice you never even knew you wanted. From me, Annabel Logan.
And me, Cara McKinley. I see what
No
you
warning, baby.
Do you see that? I improvised. I didn't stop. I went
great.
with it. Thank you.
You went, yes, and it'd be so hard.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. My butt hurts.
Uh-oh. What did you do to your butt?
I'm just still getting used to my seat, my stupid bike. The female saddle is definitely lots better.
Yeah.
But I cycled from my house to Waverley and then from Livingston train station to my dad's house and back.
Okay.
And it was a wonderful because the walk from Livingston station to my dad's house is like 40 to 45 minute walk. Yeah. It is a 7-minute cycle.
Oh, bikes
the
are
best.
A dream like that. Oh my man, God. It is true.
So good. And at one point I was like basically behind his house and that path had been flooded and they like locked it off. And if I had to walk the other way, it would have taken me like an extra half an hour, but it took me like maybe 5 more minutes on the bike.
Sweet.
So good.
Yay.
But yeah, my butt's still just coming to terms with the fact that I have to use a bike seat.
It's a small sacrifice you have to pay, I guess.
But yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm good.
How's your butt?
My butt's not sore, so starting off the weekend well. It's good. I'm fine. I'm enjoying the weather, weirdly. I know that's a weird thing to say. I know what you mean. Follows on to our theme, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I'm just sort of good. I'm good at work.
Has your work been any less hectic this week?
It has actually. Like the organisation of it is finally coming together, and we're basically it's quite interesting because I do part-time work for a homelessness charity, and we're setting up this new. It's a campaign we've run every year for the past 4 years. This will be the 4th. And it's basically you can buy yourself or a loved one a voucher. It's like a £21 voucher, which you can give to your friend or you can keep for yourself. But it's essentially like a kind of proof that you've paid a gift towards the running of a welcome centre for homelessness, for homeless people, and they can come in 24/7 to this welcome centre. It's in a hotel, so they can stay overnight if they need to. Good. It's all like COVID safe, so that they have their own rooms, their own bathroom facilities, and there's lots of great organisations that come in there and professional people, and it's essentially what they call a rapid reaccommodation centre. So its aim is to get you as quickly as possible off the streets and back into accommodation and back into like finding your feet again. So
that's great.
Yeah, so it's like a slightly updated version of what it used to be. It used to mainly just be about a place to stay, which is also brilliant, but it was only for the nighttime. You get food and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's sort of like a really inspiring project to be part of. And I've been kind of taking charge of this campaign, so it's been quite a lot for me to organise, but it's going to be worth it. I'm really excited for it. So yeah, it's called
for sure.
Buy a Bed. So if anyone comes across Buy a Bed in the next week, we're launching on the 12th of October, have a look at it, and if you can, obviously donate some money towards a really worthwhile cause.
Why £21? It's really specific.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's just been since it started. I think they calculated roughly how much for one person it costs to sort of the kind of things it would cost for letting someone stay in it, so like food costs, services costs, things like that. So it's just kind of a calculation of that. But yeah, 21 is a bit like, what?
I know. I was like, is it sort of like a legal drinking age in America?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of thing? I don't know.
I don't know, but it seems to be the way it is, and I'm happy to go on with it and along with it. It works.
I mean, apparently through my recent research with selling on Etsy. Apparently, non-round numbers, people are more likely to buy them. Oh. So like £20, people would be like, whereas like if you were to be like 1950 or something. So I think even rounding up, I think to like 21 or 22 feels better than the round number of 20.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've definitely heard that before. Obviously that's why we have a lot of 1999 and all that stuff. And you're back in the days where you're like, I don't have a pence.
Yeah, I don't have a 1 penny.
What is a penny?
Oh God. Yeah, I've been caught into that before. There was one time I was talking to my dad about something and I was like, oh yeah, it's like £500, and he was like, it's £600 minus a pence, and I was like, oh no, I'm so part of the scam.
I've done this where I remember very clearly when I was a kid and I had pocket money, and I think I stored it all up in a literal piggy bank, and I know, and I brought it into Woolworths because back in the day Woolworths was the place to be.
Hell yes, they're pick and mix.
I bloody miss a Woolworths. And
pick and mix and Disney videos. There were so many good things
the
in
weird
Woolworths.
Sweets, like they had like Nerds and like Push Pops, and anyway, I would go in and spend a lot of pocket money on sweets naturally, and I would tip out all of my pennies onto the counter, and some poor person behind the till was like counting penny by penny by penny.
Oh my God.
I felt like I basically had become an old woman before I even hit puberty, so
I used to keep all my pocket money in old like whey protein jars, like the protein powder, because my dad would have protein powder. I didn't know what it was at the time. I remember the jugs would smell weird, but I was just like, it is what it is. And I had like 4 different ones, because I had one for coppers, one for silvers, one for pounds, and like one for the mysterious notes if I was to ever get a note. But my mum used to take me to I think I told you about the Saturday Club run by Jed.
Good old Jed.
Yeah. So at Saturday Club, it was 20 pence to rent a locker, and then you'd get the 20 pence back when you know the way that you used to pay at the top of it. And then my mum would let me keep the 20 pence, and she'd take me to like a corner shop on the way home, and I would get a 20 pence mixture. But like everything in the mixture was only 1 pence, so I would get 20 sweets, and I remember being like, this is the best bargain I've ever seen in my life. 20 sweets, even though they were like tiny little things.
And then you'd feel like so proud, like they would stand there with their little tiny plastic tongs, like if it was someone that was doing it for you, like when we did it was like the person that was serving you, they would go to like an extra little counter and get their little tiny tongs and their little paper bag, and you'd be like, I want 5 mushrooms, I want one of those fizzy lace things. They're actually more than a pence, to be fair. I think they were 5 pence. So
some of them you really had to be careful. If you were going to go for a bigger sweet, you paid the price.
You did you did, and then it looked like you had nothing in your bag, which I knew meant that was shit.
It meant it was rubbish. Me and my friend used to sit in the park and trade sweets at the end of the thing.
That's nice.
But then I always picked the ones I liked, so we would trade, and I'd be like, right, trade back, I want my sweet.
Yeah, that's it. No, I never traded. I had a twin brother though, so I didn't trust the trade.
I was a very trusting tradie, because for so long I had that thing of like, I'll trade you this, but then like in an hour let's trade back. And then I remember trading a pen to someone one time, and then they were like, that's not how trades work, and they kept the pen, and I was like, what's going on?
Scandal. What?
I know.
That's when your trust is broken. Rude.
I know, it was my fault. I should have known.
You should have held them ransom somehow.
I really should have, but
oh well.
I got stuck with their dodgy ass pen, and they got my cool marker.
Damn.
I know.
Anywho, so what are we talking about? Should we have our breakfast bugle?
Yeah, let's do the breakfast bugle. I have one story, but then also just something that I'm like, we have to talk about it. It's happened, and we have to talk about it. Trump.
Yes.
Trump has the Rona.
He has the Rona.
Trump
and he
finally has it.
It's honestly like someone's written a screenplay. It's like this is the extended version of The West Wing, and it's coming true. Like this is the pinnacle point that he could get the Rona, and by gum, he got the Rona.
Well, I was keeping
Oh.
one of my friends has given up Twitter for a little bit, and she messaged me yesterday and she was like, I've just seen that Trump has coronavirus and I get all my news from Twitter, and I can't go on Twitter. And I was like, don't worry, I've got you. So I went on and looked at all the different stuff, and I've seen many people, loads of people, including myself, were very skeptical as to whether he actually had it or not.
Yeah.
Because it very much felt like a very optimal time to be like, oh, I can't do the next debate. I've got coronavirus. I need to go and isolate. But at the same time, I debunked my own theory with that, because when you're someone who doesn't let someone with a polarizing opinion speak, you're not scared of debate. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
apparently, I've not watched it because I physically can't, but apparently the last debate was literally just him cutting Joe Biden off every 2 seconds, and then Joe Biden cutting him off every 2 seconds as well. So, like, you wouldn't really be scared of doing that again, because it's not like your opponent's getting any points on you at all.
I know.
So yeah, I saw a lot of people say he doesn't actually have it. Then Hannah was doing some digging this morning, and she's pretty convinced he does have it because he's in hospital and he's taken 2 experimental treatments already.
He's gonna turn into a lizard, so be warned, this is the beginning of the end.
This morning when she was like, he's taken 2 experimental treatments, and I was like, please tell me one of them was bleach. Please tell me that one of them was him being like, just drink bleach.
Because he's been taking like a lot of like malaria things, anti-malaria pills or whatever he does. And oh my god, this sounds just like this sounds like a villain from Marvel. Like his origin story. I'm pretty sure I mean, obviously I know now he's in hospital, but I always thought he did have it, just because the last thing he would want to do is admit he's somehow weak or ill to the coronavirus, because he's been downplaying it for so long. And
so this is the thing. I have two fears about it. One of them, again, was when I thought he didn't have it, I thought it was just because recently he's said a lot of or it's been leaked that he's basically been a complete shit about military personnel and religious people, and they are basically the only people who are bothering to vote for him anymore.
Yeah.
So I thought it would maybe be his PR team being like, you need to take a step back from Twitter, just say you have coronavirus.
That's awesome.
And put your phone down. Yeah. But the other thing I'm worried about is he needs to, if it doesn't kill him, which fingers crossed, but if it doesn't kill him, then he needs to have it bad, because if he has like a cold or a flu or whatever and it's not that bad, he's for sure the type of person to be like, see, I told you it wasn't that bad, and then take it out on the rest of America, being like, well, look at me, I was totally fine, you guys are just playing it up
with my top medical insurance and team of
with the fact
vials of mutant
flown by a
liquid.
helicopter to the fucking so
that's a good point.
Well, and that's something we need to remember. Even if he does come out and he's like, it wasn't that bad, he will have been on a drip the whole time, he will have had fluids the whole time, he will have had care the whole time, painkillers the whole time, unlike a lot of people, especially in America, who are dealing with it without health insurance or without the money to pay for the care or anything like that. So even if he does come out and say, oh, it actually wasn't that bad, like, pinch of salt, and hopefully, number one, just for myself, I'm not someone who likes to wish death upon many people, but Donald Trump is not a person, as you previously said, he's a lizard.
Yeah.
So, and to be fair, I don't particularly want to wish death on lizards either, but I do wish for the coronavirus to kill him, and if it doesn't, I do hope that it is extremely debilitating for the time that he has it.
Yeah, I hope he suffers greatly for it, but I'm the same. I just can't physically urge myself. I just can't throw up those words of like, I wishing death on anyone, no matter who they are. So there's been a few people around me who've been like, I hope he dies, and I'm just like, I can't, like, I don't, as you say, I'm not a wishing death on anyone kind of person. So I'm just like, it's no, but I hope he suffers, because he needs to. In a way, he needs to sort of have some humility, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
This is the thing. The problem with it, like, the reason that I'm like, I don't care about saying it about him is because he doesn't have any trace of goodness left in him at all. And even if coronavirus brought him to death's door, truly, and then he came back from it, he would find a way to spin it. He'd be like, God favors me.
Yeah,
I'm the son of God. And you're just
I
like,
have been chosen by God.
Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that one up.
No, that's very, yeah, why not? It's definitely all over the news, and we're all waiting with bated breath. It's amazing how influenced we are over here about American politics. Like it's like, I don't know if it's just like thrown at us and forced on us, or whether because as the UK, technically America is our biggest ally. But I feel like I know more about American politics than I do about UK politics, which actually worries me, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a few reasons for it. Number one, I think Hannah's made this point to me before. I think it's a really good point. People in America seem to be almost brainwashed into the best country in the world, freedom for all, America the brave kind of thing. So you hear a lot about it because there's a lot of pride there. So we see a lot of it in the media because American people just want to talk about their politics all the time. But also I think it's because for me anyway, I am under no illusions as to what superpower America is. Yeah. Like, it's a very powerful country, so like even though the politics don't directly affect us, like we can't vote and things like that, it's still really important to keep on top of it because like it will affect us in trade and like friendship and things like that. So yeah, but I know what you mean. I mean, only recently have I really been doing my very best to pay attention to British politics, and even then I've had to take a step back because it's too close to home.
I think there's something about the American way of doing it. It's so like loud and brash and dramatic, and then we're all just like in a little dusty room, and we're like, it's all like if I may speak, and then there's just people that are just smacking a hammer. Like, I'm just like, that might be why we need to amp up our explosions for interest, but also I don't want that to happen. Anyway,
Yeah. Do you have a breakfast bugle?
I do, and it's weirdly on a similar theme, but also totally not. I came across a genuine book review on Goodreads. It is called Kissing the Coronavirus.
What?
It is a erotic fantasy book written by MJ Edwards. Currently it has 1.5 stars on Goodreads.
Oh, wow.
It is amazing. I've obviously not read it because I think this basically gives everything I need from it, but it's genuine. So if you really want to read it, you can go on Goodreads and you can find it. I think they've self-published on whatever. So this is the synopsis. Okay. She was supposed to cure the coronavirus. Instead, she fell in love with it.
Oh no!
Dr. Alexa Ashtingford is a part of a crack team of scientists tasked with finding the cure to the devastating coronavirus. Little did she know she would end up falling in love with it in the steamy viral erotica.
What? What? Viral erotica? Also, just to get the what was her second name?
Alexa Ashingtonford.
Ashingtonford?
Yes. Well-known surname.
That sounds like, you know, when someone tries to make up a British second name, it's like Pinglington Sunmanson.
Yeah, that's 2 surnames put together. And the I'll show you quickly what the front cover is before I go into some of
Can I guess?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Is it like the standard sort of like green germ thing or purpley green germ thing that's going around right now to be the coronavirus, and then a sexy woman?
You're nearly there. There. Now think about it. The sexy green coronavirus being what would look like the sexual fantasy of a very horny middle-aged woman.
Okay. What's that man's name? What's that British actor's name that was in Pride and Prejudice?
Oh, Colin Firth, yes.
Is it Colin Firth? But he's been hue shifted to be purple and green.
That's pretty much it. This I will post it on our feed, but can you see that?
Oh, it is an orc.
It is. Yeah, he looks like he's like this gross. They've basically made like a stock image of a snogging half-naked man and woman, who are really oily, by the way. They've turned the man green. They've made him a little shiny. Yeah, he looks a bit like, I can sort of, he's got dark hair. He looks a bit like Italian, like a brooding stallion, but very green.
Very green.
Here's some amazing, genuine quotes from the book.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm reading erotic fiction. Despite the devastation the virus was causing across the globe, Alexa felt a rush of excitement every time she picked up the corona sample, like a pulsating, erect penis, desperate to unleash its devastation on anyone who touched it.
Oh no, that's horrid. Wait. So in this thing, is the virus not even in a human? It's just like a petri dish, and she's like, oh.
I don't know, but the virus can talk. So I generally think she pictures it like it's a human man, but he's green. Then he is the coronavirus.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah, she's not humping a petri dish.
I mean, when she said there, she picks it up.
Yeah, that's the point. I don't know. This is my favourite quote.
Okay.
Oh God, okay. I think she's talking about, this is her, I believe, talking about another scientist she works with.
Okay.
If only he had a beard and was taller and had a big cock and was handsome and made her wet, like COVID-19.
What?
And then there's two more. Even the sound of the virus. Yeah, tough. You're getting it. Even the sound of the virus made her ovaries clash together like cymbals. What? And then finally, she had listened to her heart and vagina and allowed herself to succumb to COVID's charm.
Oh, her ovaries clash together. That would be so they're so far away from each other.
Very painful. I mean, you're essentially slapping yourself in half.
Yeah.
That could be a symptom of coronavirus.
It might be. I've not heard it yet, but it very well might be a symptom. This is the weirdest. I can't get past coronavirus having a beard. Right.
If only he had a beard, like
COVID-19. Yeah, it must be I mean, now I'm definitely not going to read this book, but I have become very curious because I do want to know what she thinks, what is portrayed as COVID in this book. Like, is it a human that's been infected?
Yeah.
And now they are like the embodiment, like a super villain, the embodiment of COVID. I've got no clue.
Yeah, it reminds me of I don't remember the name of the film. Something water. But it's
Shape
about
of Water.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of the shape of water.
Yeah, I think it is The Shape of Water.
Yeah, and it just makes me think like he's sort of swimming around a tank, and she's like going into this darkened room and just putting her hand up against it and being like,
"Infect me."
Yeah.
Imagine being so horny.
Yes.
Imagine being so horny about just anything. Like, she can't have a specific fetish about COVID. She must have just been like, I'm horny and this is the thing that's popular, so I'm going to give it a penis and call it an erotica.
Yeah. Oh my. I mean, I guess it's maybe one way to deal with your, anxiety about the current state of the world.
I guess. Yeah.
Maybe,
if it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, can actually turn you on, so... Yeah.
Really? I can say from personal experience, anxiety has never turned me on before.
No, I'm the same, but apparently that is a potential. So
wow.
There you go.
Moving on swiftly from the erotica.
Let's do that.
I had one more thing that I did find, and it was a toothbrush removed from man's stomach after he swallows it while brushing.
Oh my! Okay.
How is that possible?
Can I? Is it a full toothbrush?
Yeah.
A full fucking toothbrush?
Yeah, the whole thing.
No, I thought maybe it would be like a little toothbrush head, from an electric one.
I thought that too, but then I saw the X-ray.
Oh Jesus!
It's a full toothbrush, and the reason that I pulled it aside was because I was like, how? Like, even if you're like getting the back of your tongue, getting your molars or whatever,
Yeah.
it's not possible for you to be like, oops, and it end up down your gullet.
You'd have to swallow it a number of times and be like,
right?
I'm just gonna keep going. Get
You would
down
need
there.
to. You would need to like. You've let it go somehow. You're brushing your teeth upside down with your head tilted back, and now you've let go of a toothbrush up by mistake, right? And you're choking on it. Rather than reaching in and taking it out, you've decided to double down, chug it down like a penguin.
You're like, it's the only way to go.
Only way.
Oh my god!
It's better than reaching in there with your nasty fingers, I guess.
Oh wow!
So weird.
I mean, I'm glad he's okay. That could have been some real.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine dying on swallowing your toothbrush.
But I want to know what allowed this man to do that. Like, if I know from my own body, if I even attempted to swallow a toothbrush, I would choke on it, and that would be that. I'd have to take it back out again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, you know how sometimes you see people who can slam pints because they just open their throat. They don't have to like swallow. They just open their throat and the water goes down. Or the beer or whatever. Maybe it's that. Maybe he can just open his like tube to his stomach up and just be like, bloop, you know.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's so many questions and so many, like, I would love to know what his state of mind was and like what flashed through his mind in this life or death situation. Imagine seeing your life flash before your eyes with this toothbrush halfway down your throat. Like, what do I do?
How uncomfortable.
Swallow it.
I guess I'll just swallow. The closest I've ever been to that feeling is, you know, sometimes when you're chewing gum and it just like gets too far to the back of your throat and you're like for a second because you're like so scared you're about to die on chewing gum.
I did something slightly weird with. It was a really gross trend we had in school, where we get those strawberry laces.
Oh,
did you do these?
Yeah.
And you
no, I never did it. But yeah,
I did. It was horrible. I mean, so fucking gross. But we would like take the lace and start to swallow it whole. So you were still holding the end of the lace, but half of it was like right down your throat.
Oh no, that's not what we did. Gross.
Yeah. And then we would pull it back up and nearly throw up.
Oh yeah, gross. No, people in my school would sniff it and then take it out their mouth, so it was in their nose and their mouth at the same time.
Oh no, that to me makes me feel much worse. I don't like the thought of it being.
They both aren't great.
I would advise against doing both, but something about the nose and throat, like that coming from one end to the other, really really freaks me out.
Well, when I was in Japan, at one point I had to go and get a flu test, and they had this really long swab and it went down the back of my nose and got swirled around and got pulled back out again. And it was the most uncomfortable feeling. It felt like my nose was on fire. Yeah. So like I can't imagine doing that as a party trick.
For fun.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah.
Have you ever swallowed anything untoward that you shouldn't have, or that you're
untoward?
Like, untoward. I can think of the word.
You love it. Ooh, have I? I mean, chewing gum's a classic. It's that whole thing where I'm just like, if you swallow too much chewing gum, it will stay in your stomach forever and you'll die.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you know what? I think I've been pretty good. There's nothing I remember that I've swallowed where I'm like, oh, we need to keep checking, you know,
to get that out.
To get that out. Yeah. Surprisingly, I was a pretty well-behaved kid.
I did like get a tiny Barbie phone stuck in my ear.
Oh no!
And I had to like get tweezers to pull that out because I was like trying to listen to it like a phone, and then it had like a little pink cord, like a plastic cord, so it was long. The phone and the cord was quite long, and I remember being like, "Hello," like with this phone in my ear. But much like when you put a cotton bud in there, it feels really nice. The phone, I was like, ooh, and then I just like popped it right in, and then I was like, oh my god, and I like couldn't grab the end of it.
Oh no.
So I had to like carefully walk up to my mum and be like, please, mother.
Mother, I don't want to go deaf. I actually remember one now. I swallowed my first baby tooth.
Oh no.
And I didn't even mean to. It wasn't like I was like, this will be fun. And I was so looking forward to the tooth fairy coming. And I was like, I had basically eaten a sweet. There's a theme here. I had chewed down, I think, on a wham bar, and it took my first baby tooth that was wobbly out with it, and I swallowed it.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah, but luckily the tooth fairy knew, and she arrived anyway, so that was very nice of her.
That's nice. She
but
just like reached down into your stomach.
Yeah, she got it. It's good.
She figured it out.
It's fine. It's totally normal. Yeah, so that was my first tooth fairy experience.
I don't remember the tooth fairy at all. Like, I don't remember it I must have. I'm pretty sure I remember putting a tooth under my pillow, but I was a really light sleeper, so I think my mum had to like find ways around that.
What? Your mum?
I mean.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. I always think that is for like tooth fairy things for being a parent. And we used to get our stockings were in our room when Santa came. And I'm always amazed that they were able to be filled while I was asleep. Like now I'm a light sleeper, and now I would just be like panic.
Yeah.
I would wake up in a sweat and be like, who the fuck is at my door?
Yeah. I think there's like a certain time, like a certain period of sleep where you are at your heaviest. Mm-hmm. So like if maybe your mum just came in like quite late, I don't know, because there was definitely times where like my mum will have managed to like put a pound under my pillow or whatever, and I didn't notice. But like I don't know how they are brave enough. Like, the fear of me surely, if I was doing this with my kid, and I knew my kid was a light sleeper, the fear of them waking up whilst I was there and it ruining it would be too much for me.
I know. I'm totally the same. Like, any mums or dads there who have any good I mean, I'm not planning on having a kid tomorrow, but like how do you do it? I'm always amazed. I should ask my mum really. See
I think I would ask my dad, but he for sure was not the one that did that stuff. So. But he was the one that if I pretended to fall asleep in the back of the car, he'd be the one that lifted me up and put me to bed.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah. Aww. And then sometimes they'd be like, I know you're faking it. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to walk.
Yeah. And sometimes they would know, and then you'd have that little smile on your face, and you'd be like, oh, very cute.
Yeah. Shall we move on to our weekly waffle?
Let's do it.
A very timely one. A very on theme. Talking about autumn.
Autumn. Or
autumn.
Fall, if you are American.
Yeah. Autumn, fall, Fall.
Fall. Herbst in German. There you go.
Oh, interesting. I don't know it in any other languages. Herbst.
Oh, isn't it autumn in French?
Maybe it could very much be another word that was stolen from the French. I've been speaking about this a bit this week because I was explaining dyslexia to one of my friends, or what it is for me anyway. And I was saying that one of my main things is spelling. And if I see that I've spelled a word wrong, I know that it's wrong, but I don't know how I would fix it. So I have to go through all the rules that I know in my head to try and fix it. So French loaned words are the worst. Things like I to this day can't spell restaurant. Yeah. And like I will never learn because my phone autocorrects it every single time to restraint. Yes, every single time. So like if ever we're messaging and I'm trying to ask you if you want to go to a restaurant, I'll probably say like, do you want to go get something to eat? Because I'm trying so hard not to say restaurant.
I do still have a few words that I have to like sort of spell out in my head, like phonetically, like restaurant. I have to always go restaurant.
I try that and it's still
it doesn't.
Anyway, no. Some of them I do have to spell phonetically, but like my teachers used to be like, oh yeah, just spell it phonetically and you'll get it. And then I'd spell it phonetically and they'd be like, what the fuck is this? There's so many words that aren't
like
phonetic.
Shamed by your teachers.
Yeah, like Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, like why would I fucking spell it that anyway? Let's not get on to this.
God damn it.
God damn it. Autumn.
Autumn.
The scenery, the fashion, the weather.
I I love autumn.
Yeah, me too.
That might make me sound like a basic bitch, but I actually have never tried a spiced pumpkin latte before my life.
Also never had a pumpkin spice latte, because I don't particularly like pumpkin. But also, you like what you like, everyone. Shut up. If people do like pumpkin spice lattes, let them have it. Fuck.
Absolutely. Do you know what? This actually has really inspired me to go and try one for the first time.
Ooh, yeah. Film it.
I'll film it. I'll film it. I'll film my reaction. I know I'll love it because I love cinnamon and I love spice and I like sweet things. So it's going to be like a no-brainer and that'll be me forever.
Yeah, I'll try it too. We'll both try one. Although I live nowhere near a Starbucks, and also I've essentially gone back into lockdown just because things are getting scary out there.
Yeah.
So I may not have the chance for a little while, but the next time I'm somewhere where there's a Starbucks,
yay!
I'll grab one and
You can get a Deliveroo.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Can that they take hot drinks, right? They would Deliveroo a Starbucks.
They would Deliveroo me a Starbucks, I think.
I mean, I don't know how because that's quite something, but I'm sure.
If they can deliver me my McDonald's, they can deliver me my Starbucks.
Hell yes.
I got a thing through the door being like, McDonald's delivers now, and it was shaped like a burger.
Oh.
And I was like, if only I wasn't trying to not eat McDonald's currently. But anyway, they do know. They're like, what about this discount code? And I'm like, stop trying to tempt me.
You're such a tease.
I know. Jeez, I had granola for breakfast.
Yeah, I bloody love a granola. Like,
you know what? Actually,
yogurt and granola.
I did enjoy it. I had, because there's these little yogs that I get, yogurts for the uninitiated, that I get from the shop, and it's like yogurt, like the Greek yogurt, some granola, and like little, like maybe like 5 little chocolate chunks, but it's just enough little bits of chocolate to keep me interested for the next bit of chocolate that I find. But they're very expensive, so instead on this Asda shop I got granola and yogurt and some chocolate chunks, and I just made my own one up, and you know what, really quite enjoyable.
It is. I am all for it. I'm getting my Sainsbury's shop this afternoon, so there you go.
Yes,
I've got
so domestic
granola and yogurt in there as well. We're so cool.
I know. Oh my god. Anyway, autumn. Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God, autumn. Stick on the subject.
Why is it your favourite season?
I was actually thinking about this morning because I kind of knew we'd be chatting about it. Yeah. And I just think it there's 2 reasons. There's 3 reasons. Firstly,
there's 4 reasons.
There's 4. It suits my personality. I think there's this kind of melancholic aspect to autumn that I love. Like, I find it just it almost comforts me, but it also is very beautiful, like with the colour of the leaves, and I like that crisp air that starts to come in. So it's something about that change, but it's also that feeling of like sort of things are dying off, but I actually find that quite mysterious. Like it reminds me of walking in a wood in like the rain, and I feel at home. It's very weird. Second reason, it's my birthday in October.
Yeah.
So I obviously gives good vibes, good memories of birthday times. And finally, Halloween is approaching. That's a good one as well.
It's spooky month.
Honestly, as a kid, fuck Christmas. I was all about Halloween. That was like genuinely my favourite thing of the whole year.
I liked Halloween. Although my dad always made me feel really bad about it, because he'd be like, I don't like it when you kids go outside and beg for candy. And I was like, I'm not begging for shit all.
Work for it.
Stop. Yeah, he's like, dance for it.
Yeah. Did you have to do a piece? Like when you
I'd always have a joke ready, because I know like so many people were like, go on then. And I'd be like, oh, just give me the sweets. But yeah, I'd always have a joke ready, and I only ever knew like one joke at a time, so it was just like I just regurgitate that one joke all night.
Yeah, they're not gonna like share. They're not gonna know. I like
I don't recall anyone ever actually like laughing, like anyone being like, ah, yeah, great. Like everyone was just like, oh, okay. Like no one ever liked the jokes, so why are you asking for them?
Yeah, I was so extra. I mean, you can probably tell. I would dress up at like as the weirdest thing, like nothing stereotypical at all. A lot of it revolved around musical theatre characters, and quite often in a year I would sing a full song from a musical.
What?
Uh-huh.
Every door?
Yes, of
Oh
course.
my god, that's so long.
I know. And then they were probably sitting there like, oh my god, why is she still singing?
Yeah, why is she just doing the chorus or
And I
something?
was just there going like, on my own, pretending is beside me. And I was Eponine one year. No one knew what the fuck
my
I was.
God.
They're like, who are you?
Like Eponine, obviously.
Obviously.
Uncultured.
Yeah, go to the theatre. Oh, man. Yeah.
I cannot imagine a little kid coming to my door and me. I mean, usually I would just be like, here's sweets, please. That's enough. So I wouldn't even ask them for a thing. But I can't imagine me being like, okay, have you got like a thing for me? And then them making me stand and listen to a 3-minute reprieve.
Yeah. They were very patient.
Yeah, I would literally be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, that'll do. Here's your soup. Bye.
I'd be like, oh, and just like cut them off. I'd be like, that was great.
Did you ever have the person on your street that gave you like really horrible stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of you would come home with like a bajillion peanuts, and I'm like, why do you even give peanuts? No one likes peanuts.
They do that anymore.
Well, I don't think they can do that anymore because obviously there's way too many people who are allergic to peanuts and things like that. But yeah, I would go home and like I would just give them to my dad because I was just like, here you go, like, you know, that's
and there was so much like it was like the monkey nuts where it was like you had to break into it. And
is that not the same thing? Peanuts, monkey nuts?
I think they're the same thing. Yeah, they are. But I guess monkey nuts are like when they're still in the shell.
Yeah, because they were always
monkey nuts.
Yeah, they were always in the shell. That was another problem with them, was that they weren't even easily accessible. They weren't even like nice roasted salted peanuts. They were just nuts in a shell. Yeah, I would always just be like, okay, Dad, I guess here's your haul.
Yeah, and sometimes there was quite a few tangerines in there, which wasn't as bad, but still, you don't want a tangerine.
Not on Halloween. You don't. Halloween's not the night for fruit. You know,
it isn't. It isn't. Did you ever have someone who randomly gave you £1? I had that once or twice.
I feel like I did get £1 sometimes. Yeah. And I'd be like, what? But I can't remember any I remember there was one year that I went to my friend's street to trick or treat rather than my street, and someone on her street had like done their whole house up. Like they'd like put like I guess bin bags up, or like the whole house is like black, and they had like this cauldron in the living room. You had to go through into the living room, and they were all dressed up like witches, and you reached in, and it was like, it was really cool. And I remember being like, no one on my street puts any effort in. I'm gonna try this year to not, well actually I was going to say that I'm going to try this year to not be the person that turns all the lights off and hides, which I usually am. But I just remembered I'm actually going to be at my friend's for Halloween. We're bubbling together because we both have people that are high risk in our immediate family, so we're bubbling together and sort of staying away from everybody else. So we've decided that we're going to do Halloween together, and we're going to watch Over the Garden Wall. Have you ever seen Over the Garden Wall?
No. That's not the one with the cute animals.
It's got some animals in it. It is cartoon and it's got some animals in it, but it's like quite kind of dark, not really scary, but like definitely Halloween vibe. 100%. So we're gonna watch that, and I think I'll bring some sweets round to their house just in case we do get any wee pals coming.
Yeah, do you know, it's really quite a nice feeling when, because for like the last 2 years, there's been small people arriving at my door, and I really like it. It's like this quite exciting. I mean, they do all say the exact same joke. It's like in school, they all chat with each other and you end up hearing the same joke. Like that's probably why the people when you came to the door were like, okay, we've heard this like 10 times before.
Yeah, probably.
But it's pretty cute, and kids are weird, and I adore that.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's really lovely. I'm really excited. And
now I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy the good sweet. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna be the one who cranks out the good sweets. I've just decided.
Yes, yeah, they'll remember you. They'll remember you for like, well, if you do it again at the same place next year,
Well, I won't
they
be
will
because
not
I
forget.
imagine I'll be back in my flat next year. I'll be at Ellen
Yeah.
James's flat this year. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure that there's good. I'm trying to think what kind of sweets do kids. What kind of sweets are kids into these days?
Yeah, what are the cool kids doing?
Yeah, what are the?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll figure it out, and they're gonna love it. And I'm gonna give them way too much. I'll be like, here, have plentiful candy.
Yeah, you'll be the candy queen,
I
and
will
they're gonna love it. Oh,
I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna dress. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna dress up this year because there's just not really any point. We're not going out, which is a shame because I like to. And me and Hannah were talking about doing couples costumes.
Oh, that's nice.
Not this year, unfortunately.
I just go a bit dark and spooky. I just dress black and then I just put some gothy looking makeup on and I'm like, it'll do. I look a bit intense and that
You're like, it's fine. Just teenage years all over again.
I'm really angsty. I've not asked you, what do you love about autumn?
I'm much like you. Autumn is, I believe, it's a toss-up between autumn and spring for the exact opposite reasons. Mm-hmm. Like, I like autumn because I love the colours, and I'm not very good in the sun. So autumn's nice for me because it's not cold enough that you're like, I hate being outside, but it's just cold enough that you can get away with like a nice scarf or a nice big hat or like a nice big jacket and you feel really cozy. I like cold. I like cold air.
Yeah.
Like I like the air to be nippy, and so that I've got my fun warms on. I need to buy some. I don't have anything warm.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And when you can see your breath and you're walking, you're like, ooh.
Yesterday I went out to a local park with my friend and her dog, the ones we're bubbling with, and we just sat and like did a little bit of sketching and like just hung out, and it was like perfect weather for me. The sun was out. And I could feel the sun was warm, but the air was cold. And it was so nice. But and I like Halloween. I like things. I like the types of clothes that you can buy in this season because they are the best for my hair and skin tone. Lots of muted greens.
Ew, nice. You're an autumn color. Like, you know the stupid American charts they do where they're like, are you a summer type, an autumn type, all that shit. You're an autumn type.
I am. The stuff that you wear in autumn is peak Cara stuff because it's like heavy jeans, like big jeans, big jackets. All the colors are colors that suit me. Hats. I love a hat. Love to wear hats and gloves. So yeah, it works out really well for me. I used to have like a jillion scarves, but I think in my moving, I've somehow lost all of them. I don't know.
Oh, just trailed along the highway. Like. Oh, man.
I may have them somewhere. I had a really lovely scarf last year, but who knows? Time to go to charity shops again. I get all my winter stuff from charity shops. I've never bought a scarf full price.
That's good. Yeah, I'm the same. I want to go on a charity shop soonish. Because, I'm the same. I have I keep a lot of autumnal things each year just because, as you say, I love scarves and hats. And I can start bringing them out. And I like a good brown leather jacket in the autumn, I have to say.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Goes with the leaves.
Goes with the leaves. I can blend in.
I can hide in trees. No one will know that I'm perving on them with my binoculars.
I was going to say, every autumn you can re-release your comedy skit that you did a few years ago.
Oh, that's right.
With your song.
My wee song. I have a wee pop song, everyone, about pumpkin. Actually, it's about pumpkin spice lattes. And someone knocks my pumpkin spice latte over. Is it pumpkin spice or is it spice? Anyway,
it's pumpkin spice.
Cool, thanks. And I get quite dark. It's quite a dark song, but
also very jovial.
Yeah, you know? It sounds jovial.
Yeah, the tone and the music are very like upbeat and jovial, and then when you listen to it, you're like, oh wait, what?
Oh, holy shit! She's talking about murder. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, it's a very good song, and I'm excited for it to come back around again.
Aye, we can put it on the Instagram as well for fun.
Yeah, it's like a new autumn tradition.
Yeah, it's nice. Hurrah, hurrah! Oh, it's so nice. I'm looking out the window and it's raining and the leaves are out and I'm feeling Happy.
I feel so much better about the rain in autumn than I do in any other season.
Yeah, it's allowed to rain in autumn, isn't it?
Winter rain's horrible because it's, number one, it's not snow, but number two, it is cold.
Yeah.
Summer rain's annoying because it's summer and it should be sunny. Springtime, I don't mind the rain. Like I say, spring's like probably my either first or second best season. I don't mind the rain in spring because it's kind of supposed to. Like, it's got a name and everything.
It does. The old April showers.
The old April showers. But like in autumn, it like everything's already like orange and stuff. And then when the rain happens, like you probably weren't going to go out anyway.
Yeah.
And you just get to like enjoy it, get a hot chocolate out.
Oh, or a latte.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. I feel good about autumn times, and I'm really excited because I'm sure in a couple of weeks we're gonna probably do another spooky ghost story one.
I'm excited too. I definitely do want to do another spooky episode for Halloween. But yeah, I'm gonna need to do some research into that one. But yeah, I can't wait.
Me too. Oh. I'll put some sound effects in.
Yeah,
anyway.
tell a ghost story. Anyway, how do you feel about horror films? That's a very Halloween
that is
theme thing.
I'm kind of I'm one of these people that initially the thought of it, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. But every time I have watched one and I've come out the other end, I have this elation and I'm like, I did it! And I feel this like buzz and it makes me feel a bit high. So I get the appeal, but I really have to be convinced to watch. And I don't think I like watching them on my own. I need to have someone around.
I don't see the appeal of watching them on your own.
Yeah, because you want to share that experience. If you're going to be frightened, then at least share your fright with someone else. So
yeah, I know. I don't understand why anyone would be like, it would just sit by themselves and be like, you know what, I'm going to watch this terrifying movie about someone being home alone and being killed.
Yeah. I do remember many a time when I was a kid, like it was more of a thing when I was like, kid or teenager, and the amount of times I would creep into my bathroom and like have to like check toilets and everything and I was like really freaked. I genuinely was like convinced somehow there was something hidden in my toilet.
In the toilet?
Yeah, just like lurking there, just ready to spring up.
How strange. In the toilet. I've never thought, I used to check the bath and stuff like that.
That makes much more sense.
I've never ever thought that something was hiding in the toilet. Well, that's a lie. I've thought that maybe there was a spider in the toilet. Because I knew that they got flushed down there, and I was like, they're all gonna come back up.
They are. They'll get their revenge on you.
Yeah, but this actually makes me think. Today, when I was like looking through the internet, I found on Bored Panda, it was like a feed of people being like, "What were you really scared of as a kid that like makes no sense now?" Yeah. Like someone was like, "As a kid, I was like really scared of the Bermuda Triangle." They were like to the point they were like, why is no one doing anything about this?
I love that.
And it made me think, I mean, we spoke about this I think last week, things that like you were scared of as a kid, like thinking there was a shark in the pool and stuff like that. And it made me think of thinking that there's going to be like a snake or a spider in the toilet.
Yeah, like that's a like legit thing. I think I told mine a few weeks ago. It was self-combustion, like exploding randomly out of nowhere. That was terrifying. I was so scared by that. My sister is so funny. I'm sorry, Holly, but I find this really funny. She had a lot of things she was quite scared of when she was a kid. She was really scared of washing machines, hoovers and toilets, I think, for a while.
She sounds like a dog. No offense again. But
sorry,
like
Holly.
the fears that cats and dogs have are the fears that your sister had.
Yeah, it was a bit creepy. We had like so when we were growing up, we sort of lived in technically the basement of a house, and then my gran would live in the floor above. I think I mentioned it before. And my gran had this really long, dark hallway from like the basement stairs, and then you'd go along this really dark, really creepy hallway to get to kind of where all her stuff was. And you'd have to run past the kitchen all the time because that was kind of within the hallway. And so when the washing machine was on, oh my lord, she would just be like, she would have to go from like the bottom of the stairs and then take a deep breath and just run. And we all ended up doing it. We all used to get really freaked by it. I always got this really intense sense that there was something watching me in that hallway. It was so intense. We can talk about it more in our ghosty episode.
Yeah, let's save that part. We'll save for the spooky episode. But what? So did she ever explain what about the washing machine was scary?
I think she might have had a bad experience or something. Like,
She like threw herself inside it, or
I don't know. I think there must have been something that she was maybe frightened because, you know, when a washing machine has like its final spin, and I think the washing machine we had was it was really old, and it would start to like bounce, and like it was like it would be like thud, 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 like on the floor. And I think she must have been in a room or something, and then it started doing that, and that was it. Like from that moment on, she was like, this thing is alive, like it's gonna
is alive and cursed.
Get me. Yeah. And I can totally see the logic in that, so yeah.
Interesting. That and the Hoover, loud noises, it sounds like she's just not keen.
Yeah, no, I'm with her. It's not
That's
particularly
fair.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, some loud noises. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm scared of them, but there definitely are some that. Did I ever tell you about the siren in Tekapo?
The one for tsunamis.
Oh yeah, well for earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
No, sorry, no. God, I can't remember. It was for tsunamis in one place. It was for earthquakes in another place.
Oh,
and
God.
then in Tekapo, I know it was to alert the local volunteer fire service.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
same
that
siren.
noise was a scary noise. Yeah, it was all the same siren.
So you'd be like, which one?
Yes, genuinely. Like, there was like, I was on a coastal town one time, and my friend was like, oh, if it goes off twice, it's because of a tsunami. And I was like, what? And that was the first time I heard it. So the second time I heard it, I was inland, and I heard it again, and I was like, wait, it can't be a tsunami. What the fuck?
Oh,
and then,
no.
turns
that
out it was like
terrifying.
I know. It was a very, and really honestly, when you think of a World War II siren, that's exactly what it sounded like.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard a World War II siren go off. Oh, did I? Yeah, I think so. Like, it was like something weird, but it was like obviously not real. It was like, obviously, ancient me. Just reliving my past. And I sure, like, even just the sound of it, even though there's no immediate fear, it just sends chills down my spine because it's so ingrained in what we see as scary and yeah. It's
just I think sirens full stop, like even if it didn't sound anything like that sort of World War II siren, if all of a sudden a huge like siren like noise came from outside, I'd be like, oh, danger, we're in danger.
It's so haunting, and it just like
haunting and spooky.
Oh my, I would have been really crappy in any of these situations. I mean, or I would just go into, I don't know what I'd do. I think I'm, you know, when people are like, I'm a fight, a flight, or a freeze, I know for a fact I'm a freeze. I've done this many a time where I've just literally gone numb and just limp, and I don't.
Oh,
yeah. I know. It's so sad.
I've done all three. I don't know which one I am because I react with all three at different times. There was one time when I was a kid and I was walking home. I must have been like 9, and it was quite dark. I was just walking home from my friend like up the street, and then all of a sudden, I think I may have told you this, there was a guy who was like running towards me. And he was dressed all in grey, and I froze. I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. And then he just ran past me. It turns out he was just jogging, just out jogging. But like I froze that time, and I was like, why did I do that? Why didn't I like move out the way? And then, but I've definitely done like fight before, and I've done all three. I've ran away from scary things, and I've like attempted to fight scary things.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one I am.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever run away, but I think there's been a couple of times where I have fought, but it's certain situations. Like I couldn't give you exactly what situation, but yeah, majority of the time, I once when I used to have this real problem, like because for a while I had dodgy thyroid and I was getting quite a lot of blood tests quite frequently, and I couldn't hack it at first. I wasn't used to my blood being taken, and I would faint, honestly, like all the time. It was sucked. And the nurse was so sweet, but also it was like I felt really sad because I was like, I'm a warrior. What are you talking about? But she was like, it's just a natural instinct that we have since we were like in our ancient days, and just some animals, if they sense danger, they just go numb and they just like freeze, and that would have been you. And I was like, I would have died really quickly,
and that would have been you.
I kind of weirdly imagine myself as like a little chipmunk or something, and just like dead.
No.
Oh well.
I've never fainted, I don't think. I think I came close once, but I've never actually fainted.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, the time that I was like, I definitely could have fainted that day, but thankfully didn't. It was like I was in the queue again. McDonald's come twice. Clearly, I just want a McDonald's. Yeah. But I was in the queue for McDonald's years and years ago, and I felt kind of sick, and then I felt really hot, and then my vision started to go like blurry, and the edges started to come in, and I was like, oh my god. So I like took my card and just walked off because I was like, and then my hearing started to go, so everyone sounded really muffled.
Yeah, you were definitely just about to faint.
Yeah, so I sat down on the floor in the food court, and everyone was just looking at me. I was like, please help. And my friend came to see where I was, and I remember her, she like crouched down in front of me, and I heard like her muffled be like, oh, I think this is to herself, she was like, I think this is a panic attack. And then she started trying to calm me down, and then her calming herself down made me feel way better. And then I kind of like came to again, but I never actually fainted.
Yeah, I mean the only thing you're missing is just that it's that you just black out and you don't remember it, and then you wake up and you're somewhere else or on the floor or
weird.
My best fainting story quickly was when I was a teenager, and I smoked, and I was trying to hide it from obviously my mom and my stepdad, and for some dumbass reason I thought I could smoke out my bedroom window and no one would know or smell it or anything. And so I would open this massive, like really heavy sash window and smoke, and then oh god, I was just so stupid. I just throw out the cigarette butt or something out the window. And anyway, one time I was trying to close the window again, and the sash window just like snapped down shut really quick and onto my finger. And then it was obviously sore, but I opened it up and I was like, ugh, that was kind of gross. And then like about 5 seconds later, the blood began, and I saw I had this huge gash on my finger, and I came down the stairs, and I was obviously probably a bit like, I didn't have much oxygen in me because I just had a cigarette. And I came down and my stepdad, I was like, my finger is bleeding. And he was like, luckily very much first aid trained. So he was like, yep, right, raise your finger and like, go to the bathroom, stand over the sink kind of thing while I get something. And in that process, in that meantime, I blacked out, and I must have whacked my head on the toilet seat. And I woke up just lying on the bathroom floor, like with a slight headache, and I was like, what? So I was just sitting there like with my feet up, and he was just like, lie there, and he was trying to like treat my finger, and obviously I would have reeked of cigarette smoke.
You would have done. I was just thinking that you would have come downstairs and he would have been like, here she comes finally to tell me that she smokes. And instead she just pass out.
Clonking her head on the toilet. I don't think I've been the same since. Imagine.
I don't have any good past out stories, but my friend told me one. Hopefully she doesn't mind me telling this story. I'll leave her anonymous just in case she does mind. But she told me that once she was in hospital for some reason. I can't remember what the reason was, but she had a bag. I think she was just really ill. She had a bag of like fluids hanging up, and she had to go to the bathroom. So she took the thing and went to the bathroom, but no one had told her to keep it up.
Oh no,
So
that's not good practice.
Yeah. So she just like had the bag and didn't notice that it was now siphoning things out.
Oh shit.
So she came out the bathroom, and the way she tells the story is way funnier than how how I can tell the story, because she says that the woman in her room was like older than her, and just very much like, you know, one of those women that like, they're from Glasgow and they make everything way more dramatic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
kind of like a busybody. I don't really know, but says she came out the... Oh, oops, I just said her name. Anonymous said...
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
My friend said that she came out the bathroom and she had the bag still down, and at this point it was filled with blood at this point now. And she was like, she said she came out the bathroom, felt really sick. She had the bag and she just passed out.
Yeah.
But she says that obviously, and she says that she remembers the women in the bed being like, "She's only a Wayne."
Oh god. That's amazing. Oh, so gross. Yeah, I would definitely have seen one look at that bag and that would have been me as well.
Yeah. Blood doesn't bother me. I've given blood a couple times and things, and it doesn't bother me. Fainting's one of those ones that I want to do it just to see what it feels like. I just want to know. I'm just curious. It's the same as like, I know that this is not something that I should wish upon myself, but I really want a flu just to know what the flu is like. I've never had the flu before.
You never had the flu?
No, and I'm so curious. And the thing is, I know that the day that I have it, I'll be like, why did I ever wish this upon myself?
Why did I wish the flu?
Yeah. But I'm just curious. I just want to know.
No, I mean, it's awesome that you have never had the flu and you've never fainted. You know, that's a good sign, isn't it? But yeah, I think it's good to have the flu, I guess. Even, you know, I've only had it once in my life, and in a way it's like, it's good because so many people are like, I got the flu, and it's like, you don't have the flu, you have a cold. Stop saying it's a flu. You will literally not be able to get up if you have the flu, and you'll be sweating through everything. It's gross. I
already know that one because my dad has had the flu, and I remember when I was a kid, there was like a random 2 weeks where I just never saw him. He just was in his bedroom and I never saw him. My mum was like, yeah, he's got the flu. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I was too young to like know too much about it. I was like, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10. So I was like, this must be really bad. Yeah. Like, he's just like hiding from us all. So, and he said that like since I was really young, of like, if someone says they have the flu but they're at work, they don't have the flu.
Yeah.
That's true. Like if they're like, oh, I need to go home, I feel like I have the flu, it's like, you would be on the floor already if you had the flu. Yeah. So I already know not to say it lightly, but I want to experience it just once.
And also passing out, I have to say, you get a bit of a high when you come to, because everything's rushing back into your like head, and you do get a high from it. It's like, you know, it's this whole thing, people like self-asphyxiate and all that shit. Yeah. But that is the one good thing about fainting, is you do wake up being like, woo! Let's go!
I'm ready for the day.
Yeah. My daily faint. So there you go. That's something hilariously fun to look out for.
No, well, one day I'll let you know if ever I do either of those things.
Love it.
Do you have have you remembered a survey suggestion this week?
I have a survey suggestion.
Nice.
Basically it's just on the theme of autumn. I would say get yourself a hot water bottle if you've never ever had one, or if you have one but it's tucked away somewhere, you never use it. Now's the time to start bringing that bad boy out, because there's something just so wonderful about a hot water bottle and being all cozy and looking at the rain outside. Sorry, I'm so like nostalgic, I get quite silly about it, but hot water bottles is definitely one. And I had another one along the same I should bring out a home decor line, because it seems to be all about interiors. I can't remember, but hot water bottles is the main one.
That's a good one. I've never been someone who really swore to hot water bottles that much, because like my feet are never that cold, so I don't really need them for that. And then also with like period stuff, I know a lot of people say that it just stops their pain. It doesn't do that for me. So I was just like, but I did have a hot water bottle my last period there, and it didn't stop the pain, but it was so comforting to have it. It was just like really nice, and I've sort of reinvigorated my love for them.
It's like a hug, and like it's good because I have terrible circulation. Like I always have cold extremities, so it's just perfect for the cold.
Yeah, I think now that I don't live, last winter I lived in a just like a flat share with a couple other people who were like either students or just young professionals, but it meant that we had instilled upon ourselves that we would barely use the heating. Just, it's that standard living in a flat with people and being like, oh, we'll just not put the heating on because it's money. And so like I am a warm person. I have warm hands. Right now I don't have any socks on and I'm totally fine. And I've got short sleeves on and I'm totally fine.
Yeah, if you see like me and Cara, like Cara's in her t-shirt and I'm like, I have my dressing gown on and I have like I have like a big thick pair of socks on and my slippers.
Yeah. Whereas I'm just like, summer baby. But yeah, in that flat in the winter, it got cold. I would find myself going to bed at like 8 p.m. because I was like, I need the heat of I need to be in my bed. I need the blankets on me. It was horrible. But this year I live with one other person who also likes to put the heating on, and we just put it on whenever we need it, and it's so good.
It's so delightful. It does give you an invigoration of life, like when you actually have like a warm place. It's so.
I'm just like, you know what? I'm at an age now where I'm stable enough in the money that I have that I can be warm. I don't need to live in horrible freezing conditions.
Yeah, it's so like, and as well when you're not in a flat share, you know the heat's coming from like one or the other person, and it's not like it's disproportionate where one person's putting heat on all the time and you're like, well, I'm not paying for that, that kind of thing. So
I literally could see my breath in my last flat. They would only put the heat on for 2 hours in the morning and for 2 hours at night, and I was like, that's not enough.
That doesn't do anything.
That's not, especially because it was an old Edinburgh flat with hugely tall ceilings.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, it was the worst. Just thinking about it makes me cold.
Kind of like damp as well, like that dampness you sometimes feel in that cold, damp.
Everything you're like, is it cold or is it wet? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's like you're camping 24/7.
Yes. Oh, the worst. Except you don't wake up warm. At least when you're camping, you typically wake up roasting hot. Yeah, because the sun's being beaten down on your tent. Whereas I would wake up I would sometimes go to sleep with a beanie on, like a hat.
Oh yeah. Being there, know the pain.
Anyway,
what's your serving suggestion this week?
My serving suggestion is actually about breakfast food.
Oh,
not the podcast, but the actual thing, the actual meal, and it's just basically mix up your breakfasts a little bit. I've been having very similar breakfasts for basically my whole life, because I'm unfortunately a very fussy person when it comes to food, and I'm doing my very best to stop being fussy. And breakfast is one of those things that I'm like, I just want to have it and it's over. I just want to eat it and it's gone. So like, sometimes I'll have toast if I want things to go fast. To my detriment, I actually have a lot more bacon sandwiches than one would expect when it comes to breakfasts. But like this morning, just like getting a bit of yogurt out, getting a bit of almond milk, some granola, some this, some that. It like made me feel like a little bit excited to have breakfast. I was like, something new. And I got like a couple options in this shop. Like I got a couple fruit options. I got some pan au chocolats for when I'm feeling a bit cheeky and stuff like that. And like we've been having pancakes sometimes, and I'm just like it mixing up on like weekends, especially when you've got time to like not default to the standard like 2 bits of toast or whatever.
Yeah.
It really just like it made me excited to get up and make my breakfast this morning, to know it was going to be something a little bit different.
That's so nice. And if you have like a table, like a dining table, and you're able to like almost put a spread out and you just have it there, like make a bit more effort, it's really nice to be able to just, and then you just both sit and you just chat. It's really sociable.
Yeah, I think meals at a table is a good one too. We have 3 dining tables in this house, and none of them get used for dining.
Yeah.
The dining room and the living room, a dining table in the living room, we are looking to get rid of because it just doesn't, size wise, it just doesn't fit. And then the two, and so if you're looking for a dining table,
Okay.
and the two dining tables we have in here in this the room I'm in right now, the studio, we actually are using as two craft tables. We've got them like in an L shape like that. So the sewing machine's on one part of the L, and then the other part is like, we've currently got Hannah's knitting machine on it.
A knitting machine?
Yeah, a knitting machine. I know. It's this big, insane. I'll see if I can in a minute show you it somehow. But it's this like, it's so weird to look at. It's like a long machine. It kind of looks like a keyboard.
Okay.
But instead of keyboards, it's got these like teeth almost that can grab onto the wool. But the weird thing about it is it has these two massive metal antennae.
Okay.
They like stick up into, they almost reach the ceiling.
Why?
Because you put your, so they're quite floppy. You put your wool in it and it pulls the antenna down and it keeps your wool taut.
Oh, that's cool. It sounds really sci-fi. Like if it was from the 50s sci-fi.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they apparently they don't make them anymore. It's Brother, the and apparently they don't make them anymore. So the only way you can get one is like women just selling them on to each other when they're finished using them. So it's like a machine from the 80s kind of thing, and like,
oh, that's nifty. I've never heard of a knitting machine. I love it.
I hadn't heard of it either before Hannah was like looking into getting one, but it's so fast. Like it would take me to hand knit a scarf. It would take me like what, a couple days, a couple weeks, I don't even know, honestly. A while. With this, literally, you could hand knit a scarf. Well, you could knit a scarf in like a half an hour, maybe less, because you're just been like
like mass just, like, production.
It's so Hannah's gonna try and make a jumper. We've got these little like cards that put patterns on it. It's super cool.
That's so cute. I would love Hannah to teach me more knitting, because I can make a scarf. That's as far as I've ever got.
I made that hat at the beginning of COVID. I made a hat.
Awesome.
I was really chuffed with it, but that took me years. It took me every night I would sit down to it, to the point where my hands were getting sore, my fingers hurt from like getting this hat together.
Gnarled over.
Yes, I know.
Oh, quick side note. Love, just following on from your breakfast food chat, on our Twitter, it was so funny. I woke up like a couple of days ago to some random sweet sounding chap on Twitter who had just posted a Twitter post being like, I love eggs. Eggs are the best breakfast food ever, and posted a picture of some scrambled eggs and then tagged us in it.
Aww.
So, that's nice.
That's so cute.
I just retweeted it. I was like, that's it.
Oh, he tagged us in it.
I love eggs too.
Eggs are pretty good.
So
I wonder if he's a listener, or if he just thinks it is a podcast about different breakfast foods.
He thinks that because he also tagged BBC Breakfast and other breakfast related accounts. So we are up there with BBC Breakfast.
Yeah,
which I think is very cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah. Before
we wrap up, can I tell you some kids' right jokes?
Yes, please.
Yes. Do. Okay, I did see some good one. Right, this one. It's a question, but then you don't need to answer. It looks like this kid's just answered it himself. Okay. So it's what did the banana say to the other banana? Have you got a potty? Because I need to pee desperately, please. No, because we're at the beach. We will need to go home by a banana taxi. We don't have a car.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
It's really visual. I can really picture these bananas struggling at the beach. Yeah.
Why do birds fly south for the winter?
I don't know.
Because they're scared of bees.
Oh, again, I'm sure this is the second bee-related joke that we've had where the answer is bees and being scared of them.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure I remember one last week. I got something in my eye.
Oh no!
I'm just like,
is it a bee?
It very well might be a bee. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Nobody. They had to go to a meeting. That's the old switcheroo, the old bait switch.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to use that more often in just general conversation.
More often.
Is your eye okay?
It's like really stinging.
Oh no! What's
I'm
in
just
that?
sitting here with my eye closed. I'm like fully crying. Do you ever get? Now this is gonna sound gross, so apologies, listeners. But it's early enough in the morning, and I've yet to shower. I'll shower after this, I promise. Do you ever get if you've not showered for a day or so, your eyes just sting because like just the surrounding sweat just sort of is around your eyes?
I've not had that so intensely. I've had it many times where I've maybe put some, like I put cream on my face or makeup and then I sweat or my eyes water and then it all goes in my eyes and it stings like a bitch. That happens more often.
Oh, I mean, maybe I'm just sweatier than you are. The thing is, I'm not actively sweating currently. Like,
Yeah,
but
I'm like.
sometimes I get it in the morning. If it's gonna happen, it happens in the morning. It's like because I've been sleeping, I guess, and like I don't know, my natural oils just seep into my eyes.
In. Not even your eyebrows can catch the.
Nothing can stop
sweat.
it.
It's coming for your eyes.
It's coming for all of us. On that note.
On that note, shall we wrap it up?
As always, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Breakfast Food Podcast. You can email us at breakfastfoodpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me at cara.mckinley.art on Instagram or mckinley.art on Twitter.
Yeah, and you can find me at Annabel Logan Comedy on Instagram and Burnt Out Bulbs on Twitter. So yes, we would love to hear from you. And
follow us. I'm doing animations every day.
Heck yeah, yes, and they're super cool. So check it out.
Thanks. They take a long time. I don't know why I've done this to myself.
Well, you're committed now. How long does it go on for?
The whole month.
Hey, well, when are we at? 3rd of October. Have fun.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a great
Enjoy
breakfast.
your breakfast. Bye.
Bye.